you want to kind of show the bakery how you can use the cocoa powder in 20 different ways. I mean, nobody wants to buy one product, can only make one product as well. So when you show the versatility of the products, so then it's easier to sell and to make that business relationship. The other end of it, some would actually do a lot of innovations. So let's say, like I mentioned just now, let's say the company make egg roll or spring roll. So it's like, what other flavor of egg roll and spring rolls that I can make?
Sit back and relax and get ready for another exclusive episode of the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast with Lopez.
This episode is brought to you by ERC. Let me ask you a question. Did you have a business during the pandemic with 5 or more employees? If the answer is yes, you might be leaving money on the table. All you got to do is go to ercbankroll.com and you can get your money. The best part about this, it only takes 5 minutes or less to see if you qualify. Go to ercbankroll.com and put in your name, email address, answer 2 questions, click on the submit button, and you're done. It's that simple. And get your money. So don't wait. Go to ercbankroll.com and get the money for your business today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Online Marketing Secrets Podcast. I'm your host, Lopez. So like and share this episode. And before we get started, I would appreciate it if you would leave me a 5-star review in iTunes or anywhere that you're listening to the show. Love it or hate it, I want to hear what you have to say about the show. I want to hear your feedback and what you think. I would appreciate that. So today, I have another special guest. If you ever wanted to be a chef, if you ever wanted to be great at being a chef, or you thought about it, or if you ever wanted to launch a food product within the marketplace, or if you ever wanted to create a product from scratch and launch it in the marketplace, this show is for you. You're gonna love this show because my special guest has done exactly that. And she's been doing it for over 20 years. She's been on some of the big networks on television. She's worked with some of the best people in the food industry. She can tell you what works, what don't work. She can tell you how much time and effort and energy it's going to take for you to launch your product in the marketplace. She can show you how to launch your product from scratch. She's a board certified health practitioner through the American Association. And she's been doing this for a long time. And she's on her way to getting her doctorate in natural medicine. So she believes in good health when it comes to food. My special guest today is Junnie Lai. Welcome to the show.
Junnie born and raised in Malaysia.
Oh, that's nice. I've never been over there. Hopefully I'll have a chance to go?
Oh, you have to go. I'll send you a link to look at it. I mean, it's an ocean, beach, island, lots of good food, lots of beautiful beaches, lots of great tropical fruits.
So, what made you want to become a chef?
Well, I love to eat, and growing up, I actually my parents own a bakery. I'm a third generation baker in the family. And so, but growing up, my parents really didn't want me to be anywhere near probably all, in food or working in hospitality by se. But I really like working with food. I just thought, and plus I have this mentality that I would, if I like something, about, let's say, a chocolate cake. I mean, I started learning how to bake since I was 7, and I have this passion with chocolate cake. I wanted to make the best chocolate cake, and I tried out different recipe until like I start taking things apart, and I was like, why is this recipe a different ingredients? Like, how does that affect the cake? I mean, I was only 7, 8, 9 years old, and I'm doing all this, and then until I find out that, all right, what is the perfect chocolate recipe, chocolate cake recipe?
Okay. So you love to bake. Was baking one of your favorite parents' things to do when you were growing up?
Yes. We all like to, baking is definitely one of my passion, along with cooking as well. So that's how I'm actually, so I actually grew on both sides of savory cooking and baking and pastry.
Okay. So what was like, well, first of all, how do you become a chef? A lot of people might think, hey, you just go to a restaurant and you stay there for a long time and you just do on-the-job training or something like that. How do you become a chef? A lot of people don't know that.
Well, I went through a very long process to become a chef. I didn't came off high school and just kind of know that I want to become a chef. Actually, right off the high school, I wanted to be a fashion designer, but my parents say no. it's not a job that would make money, and he insisted I have to take business courses. I was like, so boring.
Yeah.
and I was like, Then anyway, I did business, and then at the time at the university, they started to have a co-ed program into hotel restaurant management, and I make a negotiation with my parents. I said I would graduate with my business degree in associate, but I would like to graduate in my bachelor degree in hotel restaurant management. And after I did that, I needed 2 internships to move forward. And I fell into this job with a food company in Minnesota. It's called Schwann's, and they make ice cream, pizzas, and different kind of appetizers. But they have a research and development area, and I was one of the interns to help in the culinary department. And that is like my, besides helping my parents in the bakery growing up, that is like one of my very first job as professionally working with food. And coming into, the research side of the food, it's very different than just going to the kitchen to just cook. And so let's say you want to make egg rolls, and the egg rolls is, what kind of filling that you make. It could be a General style chicken egg roll, it could be a cabbage egg roll, it could be a tofu egg roll. So, the different variations of that. So in the research and development kitchen, they often hire a lot of professional chefs, because in the end of the day, the food trends in the market do set trends by um, they used to call it white table linen table restaurant, or so to speak. I think now is probably make more sense to say that it's individual restaurants to start the trend, because when you're individual restaurants, you have more easier to create different new dishes add to your menu versus the chain. So those usually are the trendsetter in the market. Now, so as I work in that position, I really love working with food, and I continue to stay with the company for 8 years almost. And they, at the time, there's a new position in the industry that's called research chef, and I've been trying to apply for the positions in the market to grow myself, but I keep getting pushed back. They were like, no, we can't hire you as a research chef because you don't really have classical culinary training. And I was really upset because at the time I already have 3 degrees. I already graduated with my master's in business with MBA as well. And I was like, and I can't get a job that I already know how to cook. I do know how to cook. I do know how to bake. And I've been working in the research and development. It's like, why can't I get that job? So after I got rejected, and I think job searching for 2-3 years, and I finally just kind of like, all right, if really what it takes me to reach that positions that I have to do, I quit my job. I moved from Minnesota to Charleston and signed up with Art of Institute in Charleston to did a culinary program and specialized in baking and pastry. And after I graduated from Art of Institute, I joined, I worked for one of the few 5-star restaurants in Charleston, as well as helping one of the master baker from Germany as helping opening a brasserie or a cafe in Charleston, right next to the Charleston Place Hotel.
So it sounds like you had a long journey.
Yes, I mean, it's a career growth. So
Yeah.
you know, it's not like I wake up one day and say, I'm just gonna want to be a chef.
Yeah. So, is there many of these food research companies out here, or is just a very small group of companies that launch new products? Is it competitive?
Well, I wouldn't say competitive, but there is definitely a lot of I would say medium. I guess if a medium, when you say $5 billion to maybe $20 billion food company generally would have a research chef on staff. I guess, and the role is really kind of varies as well. I mean, some research chefs actually do more business development work. So let's say you have an ingredient, and when you do this business development set of work, let's say you want to sell, you have a chocolate powder you want to sell to a cake company. So you want to kind of show the bakery how you can use the cocoa powder in 20 different ways. I mean, nobody wants to buy one product, can only make one product as well. So when you show the versatility of the product, so you know, then it's easier to sell and to make that business relationship. The other end of it, some would actually do a lot of innovations. So let's say, like I mentioned just now, let's say the company make egg roll or spring roll. So it's like, you know, what other flavor of egg roll and spring rolls that I can make for my next launch? And then sometimes you work side by side with food scientists and a little bit more details of the ingredients and such.
So how do you launch a product? What goes into that? What's the process like? Let's say I have a new recipe, for example, or I don't know, a sauce, barbecue sauce. Yeah, what happens?
So there is a different so for recipe, that homemade recipe, sometimes certain ingredients that you can buy in grocery store is not necessary whether available in commercial manufacturing world as well, or it's not cost efficient. If it's available, sometimes more expensive. So you want to make the recipe converted into ingredients that you can also buy in commercial manufacturing, so that it get ready for a mass production.
Oh, okay.
So but also the other side is sometimes certain cooking style, let's say you have to sweat a shallot or onion. I mean, it's not like it's impossible, but when you're cooking one portion versus cooking 10,000 ton, I mean, sweating shallots, it's the step that's itself, it's almost impossible.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is one step. Number one, I mean, you have to have a recipe that you felt like that's exactly what I want. So when you bring to step two, what we would call it a prototype, when you make that recipe that is kind of ready for manufacturing, it should taste as close as your original recipe. Sometimes certain things you have to compromise, but I would say it should be at least 95% or 99% as close to your original, which is called the gold standard recipe. Then you make it to a prototype, and then for prototype, you grow that into ready manufacturer formula and process.
Yeah, the reason why I asked that, because I think I was looking at Shark Tank.
Yeah.
A couple months ago, and some guy was on there, and he had some type of recipe. I don't remember what it was exactly, but he was talking about the process he went through. And he said, in the end, he said the reason why he didn't want to, I guess, go big and do mass production, because he didn't want to lose he was afraid that it wouldn't taste the same,
Yeah. Sometimes it will affect. It really depending on what are the details thing that you do in there. I mean, ultimately, certain cooking flavor, it's harder to imitate, but there are a lot of flavoring out there, natural or identical. They can't be adjusted. So let's say wok flavor. You know how like the stir fry wok flavor just smells so good in Chinese food? That flavor actually available as a liquid flavor to add to your food to give you that flavor.
Okay.
Even without doing the whole wok stir fry process, you still can get that flavor. So then, of course, creating the product itself and product launch, that is just one part of the hurdle, right? Then, I mean, you also have to really understand one of the biggest part of a successful product launch is, are you actually making a product that what the community wants? It's not about you want to make the product, is you want to make a product that somebody wants as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I was looking at your website, and I noticed that you're in the healthy meals, healthy food. So there's a lot of chefs out here. Some the average chef, at least that I know, they work at a restaurant. They work at the high-end restaurant, or usually the Fridays or the Red Lobster, and they don't really focus on healthy food. Whatever they want, they just cook it, and that's it, and they get out of there, and they come back the next day, do the same thing over again. So why did you focus on healthy food? Why did you go that route?
So it has a partial to do with about I would say maybe 15 years ago, I started to realize that a lot of people around me, they have a lot of illnesses. I mean, from, heart attack, high blood pressure, and diabetic, and I mean, even the news talk about 60% of the children are diabetic. It's like, that's kind of really sad. It's a very high number. Very, very sad to hear for children to have that, And then, of course, everybody's fear, the big C word, cancer. And so, and also growing up, my mother, very much good with, she's very good with Chinese medicine, Chinese herbs. So, and it's part of it's part of the culture in my family. We use food as medicine. My mom would always kind of buy different kind of beans and make soup. She's like, you have to finish this tonight. This soup is good for your eyes. So it's like, and during my exam time, my mom would make pig brain soup for me, and she's like, this will help you to re-nourish your brain to make you smarter. I was like, okay. So I guess, kind of growing up with that, and also, hearing a lot of the bad news about how people are getting sick. And I was like, just kind of put it two and two together. And we eat 3 to 5 meals a day. And, food is one of the most main pillar of staying healthy. So, and I love eating. So I figure, I want to help people to eat healthy. I mean, if I'm going to do something to help the community, that's something that I can give, I want to do that.
Yeah, they say health is wealth, right?
Yeah. And trying to achieve that. So I just moved back. I just moved back to US from Malaysia at a time, and moved back to New Jersey with my husband, and going through a career change. And my husband asked me, what would I like to do to be the next chapter of my career? And I said, I really want to help people to eat healthy. And he's like, how are you going to do that? And I was like, well, I'm going to maybe look into doing a doctorate in some sort of nutritional or something. It took me a couple months, and I found a program. So I'm currently doing my PhD in natural medicine. And at the same time, I also started my consulting business, helping people to develop food product, clean label.
Okay. So usually you're going to work with like big businesses, a small business, or a startup, or
all of the above. I have a lot of clients who are like, they just have a product, like you just say, I have a recipe of a sauce. They're like, I like to launch this. I don't know how. Help me.
Yeah, speaking of that, okay, I know you meet people like this from time to time.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I got a recipe to my grandmother.
Yeah.
So what do you say to them when you meet people like that?
Well, it really depends. Sometimes I ask a lot of questions because, dreaming is easy, right? Yeah. To actually want to have that persistence and the energy and the money to really get into it, to make it success, the endurance, it's completely different. So I to me, I don't know, I'm doing somebody a favor, or maybe they kind of say, oh my God, we just hate talking to her because she's just trying to talk me out of it. I sometimes tell my husband, I said, maybe I'm a dream crusher. Nobody wants to talk to me. I said, because especially when they have a recipe and they have never worked in the food business before, and they just like, I want to launch this, I want to sell it to Whole Foods, hopefully, and then maybe I'll make a million. And I was like, okay. I said, okay, let's talk through the process. Like, how do you see this going down? And do you understand what is the financial engagement in this?
Mm-hmm.
And some people do, which is, those are the ones that exactly understand, kind of, I'm not saying it from point A to point Z that far as to, let's say Z is the launch. But if you have even down to, a midway, at least you kind of have a serious thought about it. But if you don't, an idea is an idea. And I mean, I love to help everybody. But then, I felt like our conversation with them is also trying to help them that whether this is a real dream or this is actually just an idea that because you feel excited now, but 2 weeks later you'll be like, it's all right.
Well, I think a lot of people probably underestimate the time and income and the process. This is a long-term play. This is not something that ain't a lot of Shark Tanks out here.
Well, a lot of sleepless night. I can tell you, those people who actually have gone even that far to Shark Tank, they have thought a lot. Yeah. They have really been through a lot, whether, fundraising for having $100,000 to $200,000. I mean, if you're fundraising for family and all, you'd be like, all right, you kind of responsible for other business people's money as well, that you hopefully can give them a return. And so it's a big process to go through launching a brand new company along with a brand new product. It's a lot of work. So, some of the middle company or the bigger company that I help, not necessarily always new product, but sometimes it's about product extension. Let's say you have a yogurt, but you want to make, chocolate flavored yogurt and different texture flavor yogurt. So that kind of thing. Or sometimes it's like I mentioned to you earlier, it's sort of like a business development. You have an ingredient. How can we spin it off 10 ways to sell to different kind of companies so that they understand that it applies to their business? They can use it versatilely.
Yeah, it's a huge commitment. I think a lot of times, a lot of people have, I guess that I could say they're a little too optimistic sometimes. They don't understand the work and the time and the commitment that goes into it. And when they talk to you, you kind of crush their dreams. They have to come down to reality, and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know I had to do all that."
I know. Well, and sometimes also legality of things, right? I know, like marijuana is sort of like legal now in many states.
Yeah.
But also, and also different things of claims of like herbals. You can have. Let's say chamomile cookie, it could help you to sleep. Some kind of these kind of claims are very difficult. So you can make a product, you say, well, I'm going to put marijuana or CBD and chamomile, and I'm going to sell it as a good sleep cookie. But it's like, it's very difficult because those kind of claims, the government really not necessarily agree with you or let you get away with it. I mean, I hope, people who are ever going to listen to this podcast and come and talk to me. And I'm just trying to be realistic. I'm trying to help you to think and I'm setting you up to be successful, right? Because until you really think about all the hard and difficult questions, how to deal with it right now, then the rest of it is just, getting you smooth sailing to be successful.
Yeah. At least, you're being honest with people. Let me tell you where a lot of that comes from. A lot of people online, they make a lot of claims, and a lot of people talk about the good, but they don't talk about the bad. They don't talk about the negativity. They don't talk about how they got robbed, how they got ripped off. They don't talk about that. They don't talk about the journey.
Exactly.
By the time they get on, I don't know, on some type of the network or Shark Tank, they've been through so many hurdles. If they told you everything that they've been through, you would quit. That's why they don't talk about it.
Right, on Facebook, on YouTube, everybody, when you see those videos, oh my God, like, look at him. He's like driving a nice car, having a big successful business. But it's like the poor guy probably have sleepless night, because it's like, oh my God, how, trying to figure out everything. I mean, nobody wants to hear the hard stuff. Everybody just wants to assume everything is good and easy. But it's not. And for me as a consultant, even especially, I always trying to tell, share with my clients, I said, just always remember, there is really not much difference than hiring an employee and hiring me as a consultant. But the only thing is, as a consultant that you're hiring me is, my expertise. And the other thing that you're just really paying me as my expertise and my time. So if I'm not being honest with you, then I don't feel like I'm doing my job. And if I'm going to be a bad consultant and just tell you, just keep having you stringing you along and just so that you can keep paying me, I don't think I am not that kind of person. I want to make sure I put everything up front. If you know what you're facing, so we can face the challenge together and get it done right. Yeah.
So if people wanted to work with you, where would they go to?
They definitely can find me on my website at globalcuisineconsulting.com. Or they can also find me on LinkedIn with my name, Junnie Lai, or Global Cuisine Consulting is my business webpage. They can find it there too.
There you have it. Like, share this episode. All links will be found in the show notes. Until next time, we're out. Peace.
With the state of today's economy, it is more important than ever to invest in products that last for years to come. As the seasons shift and get cooler, make sure your closet is stocked with durable layers that stand the test of time from American Giant. American Giant's clothes work harder and are wearable season after season. Their greatest hoodie ever made is made of the highest quality materials that are cut and sewn right here in the United States. So you're investing right back into your local community. Choosing American Giant means taking a stand for American manufacturing and hardworking Americans, something other mega corporations don't care about. From fleece to knit, all in a range of colors for versatile daily wear, American Giant delivers everyday pieces designed for everyday life. Feel the difference of quality made-to-last clothes from American Giant. Get 20% off your first order with code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com. That's 20% off your first order at american-giant.com with code STAPLE20.